and dream. Okay, hello explorers, ELEDers, and dream pursuers. Let me start off by expressing our gratitude for your coming. My name is Ella, and I'll be your guide for today's tour. On behalf of English Language Education Department, University of Muhammadiyah Malang, I'd like to welcome you all to our Hangout program. We have 3 excellent speakers who will share their experiences about academic life in 4 different nations. The Zoom ride to our destinations will take about an hour and 15 minutes. Right now, I'd like to take a minute to familiarize you with the stations and discuss some housekeeping points. Firstly, it is appreciated if you remain online and on camp until we reach our stations. Secondly, feel free to participate in the Hangout activities that we might have later on. Although the Zoom meeting is delivered in English, please don't hesitate if you want to speak out or share your ideas in the mixed language. Next, allow me to go over our itinerary for the tour. First of all, we'll go to Australia as our first destination. We'll have about 20 minutes to stroll around one of the closest neighboring countries with its world-class education system. Our next station will be New Zealand, which is famous for the breathtaking landscapes as well as reputable universities. Finally, we'll visit China, which was famous for their amazing cultures and education services. Later, you will have the opportunity to submit text questions by typing into the chat box, or raise your hand if you want to ask your questions directly to the speakers. Feel free to send your questions at any time during the presentations, and we collect this and address them during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And interestingly, there will be 2 best questions that will be given door prize from the committee. So feel free to pop your questions later. Now, before departing to our first destination, let's enjoy the welcoming speech from our study program director.
Yuhindra Wicaksono MD PhD selaku Kaprodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris FKIP UMM ingin mengaturkan selamat datang, selamat bergabung bagi semua mahasiswa baru yang sudah mendaftar di Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris UMM. Bersiap-siaplah untuk menapak langkah menuju kesuksesan yang kilang gemilang dengan penguasaan bahasa Inggris yang handal di bidang bahasa Inggris tentunya, teknologi, edupreneur, serta pedagogis melalui Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris. Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris UMM memberikan jaminan kualitas teratas. Hal ini terbukti dari banyaknya lulusan Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris yang telah mendapatkan beasiswa untuk studi ke luar negeri, menjadi dosen, guru, maupun PNS baik di sektor akademik dan non-akademik. Juga ada beberapa alumni kami yang telah sukses menjadi pengusaha di sektor kependidikan dan non-kependidikan, serta bekerja di perusahaan ternama nasional dan internasional. Prodi kami memiliki para dosen dengan keilmuan yang mumpuni dan merupakan alumni dari beberapa universitas luar negeri, baik itu Asia, Australia, Eropa, maupun Amerika, serta tentunya kampus-kampus besar ternama di dalam negeri. Sehingga prodi kami memberikan mutu pembelajaran, materi pengajaran, serta media pembelajaran yang bertaraf internasional dan sesuai dengan kebutuhan mahasiswa milenial saat ini. Fasilitas internet yang cepat, ruang kelas yang nyaman, serta laboratorium bahasa yang modern tentu tentu akan membuat belajar Anda semua bukan hanya menyenangkan, tapi juga tentunya berkualitas. Dan juga beasiswa serta pertukaran mahasiswa ke luar negeri, seperti contohnya ke Eropa, China, dan Thailand, tentu akan merupakan salah satu kesempatan emas yang bisa Anda peroleh dengan menjadi bagian dari keluarga besar Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris FKIP UMN. Sebagai bagian dari masyarakat global yang dinamis dan digital-minded, Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris sudah adaptif dan implementatif dengan pembelajaran blended learning. Lebih jauh lagi, bisa kami sampaikan apa yang sudah menjadi program dari Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan Nasional. Program MBKM sudah berjalan dengan lancar dengan dukungan sektor SDM, regulasi, serta fasilitas yang sangat mumpuni. Jadilah agent of change for excellent future di Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris. Advance your English with us and cruise the world. Perdalam bahasa Inggris dengan kami dan bersiaplah menjelajah dunia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Pak Bayu, for the welcoming speech. So in this occasion, I would like to also welcome some of our lecturers who attended this session. So we have Ibu Prof. Dwi Puji Astuti, MA PhD. Hello, Ibu.
Hello, Ibu Ella. I'm sorry, my camera off.
Okay.
Due to something that I have to do first, and then I will on my camera. Thank you.
All right. Yes, thank you. It's great to have you, Ibu. And we also have Ibu Tatit Manon Andini, who joined us here today. Thank you, Ibu, for joining us.
Hello, thank you very much.
Yes. So we really appreciate your coming. Now we come to our first adventure, and allow me to say a few words about our first destination, which is Australia. So a country which is famous with the kangaroos, wombats, and koalas is an island country in the southern hemisphere. When you study in Australia, you have the opportunity to pursue an outstanding education from leading institutions. Australian education is constantly ranked among the world's top 100 universities. Are you ready for your academic adventure to begin? So for this, I am proud to introduce my colleague, Miss Nina Inayati. Miss Nina Inayati teaches English in the University of Muhammadiyah Malang, Indonesia. She obtained her master's degree from the University of Adelaide, Australia. She has visited several countries, such as Australia for the master's study, Japan for the research purpose, Singapore and Cambodia for presenting in academic conferences, and Malaysia for traveling. She has published several textbooks and research papers and presented in academic conferences. Her research interests are in, technology in ELT, autonomous language learning, and English as international language. So without further ado, we will turn the time over Miss Nina. Miss Nina, the virtual floor is yours.
Very much, Bu Ella. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you, Bapak Ibu, and also students and also prospective students? Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Nina Inayati, and you can call me Miss Nina. Yeah. And thank you for the generous introduction, Miss Ella. And okay, so my destination is Australia, but the committee has specifically requested me to share about writing. You see here, can you see my screen sharing? Okay, so I don't know if you are familiar with what the required syarat-syaratnya if you want to apply and get an opportunity to join programs overseas, whether it is in Australia or whether it is in other countries. We usually need to write a personal statement. Okay, Anyone here is familiar with personal statement? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, Bu Nina.
Very good, Bu Laila. Bu Laila here has been globetrotting around the world, and that's why she's familiar with that. So this personal statement, everyone, let's just say that if you don't really have enough fund or enough money to go abroad, and you want to find sponsors to go abroad, then this is one of the key to do that. Okay, so being able to write a personal statement is the key if you want to go to Australia or other countries. You see that I'm the first speaker here. And yeah, for master education, I did that in Australia. And so this is one that I have done too. But later on, I will also share that this personal statement is not only needed to go to universities or finding a sponsor. You see, when I say finding a sponsor, it's actually like joining student exchange programs, or you see, even applying for the university that you're targeting, you will also need to write a personal statement. Okay, it may comes in different names, but let me start officially this presentation and hit this. Okay, so what's personal statement? Personal statement, everyone, it's a personal essay. So this is like an essay, yeah? Not like an essay, it is an essay. And just like the name suggests, it's personal. Okay, so it's based on experience, it's based on your dreams. Okay, not based on, you don't need to cite, nggak perlu mensitasi atau membaca literatur semacam itu ya, because it is a personal essay and it is for introduction. But the introduction and this document is usually used to study or to pursue a scholarship or even for working. Okay, and it contains highlights of your strengths, which is relevant to the applied position. If you're applying for a student exchange, for example, then you will look back and reflect on your strengths, kira-kira what good qualities that you have that is relevant to this program and why you should be chosen for that program. Kurang lebih seperti itu. And so it aims to sell yourself, yeah, sell in a good way. Okay. Now, these personal statements, it comes in various names, but the key things or the key points is the same. Okay, so some if you're familiar, I show you some logos of sponsors or popular sponsors of student exchange or short course program or even master or PhD programs that could fund us to go overseas for free. Okay, so if you're familiar, I'm sure you're familiar with LPDP. Ya. LPDP can take you anywhere and it's by our government. And LPDP term this, ya, mengistilahkan personal statement ini ya as personal statements. Okay. And then you have the logo of Erasmus there and your seniors. And I noticed that some of your seniors are here in this meeting too. And they have acquired this Erasmus scholarship, and they call it motivation letter, I believe. Okay, so motivation letter for Erasmus Mundus, but it's the same. I mean, the content is basically more or less the same, like personal statements. And then we have statement of purpose. Statement of purpose, I think it's in Fulbright, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And then we have cover letter. It's quite popular too. If it is usually part of what is it like? If you want to apply for a job, for example, you will be asked to write a cover letter. Cover letter is also one form of personal statement. Supporting statements, you have it if you want to apply for Australia Awards. Australia Awards is like LPDP, but it is provided by the Australian government. Fulbright is provided by the US government, American government. So if you want to study in the US, you can read from now, yeah, the information about Fulbright. And you don't need to wait until you graduate. Okay, you don't need to wait until you graduate to pursue your master degree, because there are exchange programs. There are short programs like 6-month program or even 1-month programs, or maybe even 1-year programs under LPDP, under Fulbright, under Australia Awards, or even Erasmus. If you haven't noticed, many of your seniors, still students here in English Language Education Department, they've been traveling around Europe, okay? And mostly under the Erasmus programs, and also some go to China, for example. So no one is going to spoon feed you on that. You need to be active and go to these websites by yourself, yeah? Familiarize yourself with the programs and prepare yourself from now on. If you want to go to Korea, for example, then you have these scholarships too. And I think they term this personal statement too. Yeah, one of their requirements is personal statements. And of course, overseas university application, I have mentioned that. So not only the sponsors, but also the application to the university that you are targeting, it needs personal statement. Seperti itu. So how is personal statement? In general, it looks like this. It's an essay, and if you're familiar with the format of an essay, general format of an essay, it always starts with an introduction, like 1 paragraph of introduction, and then you have the body paragraphs, and then a conclusion. The body paragraph consists of several paragraphs, and then finally at the end you have the conclusion, which is 1 paragraph. This is only a brief review of what's in each sections, but I hope that if I have enough time, that later I will show you a real example. You see the length of this essay, it depends really, okay? So sometimes it's only 250 words, sometimes it's 500 words, sometimes it's even 2,000 words, okay? So it's long, and well, you see, if we are to go deeper into the format of the essay, then I don't think 20 minutes is enough, yeah? So that's why I'm going to go briefly into the introduction. It's usually, you really need to go to the point, yeah? You imagine that it is going to be a 250 or 500 word essay, then you will go directly, well, it sounds more or less like this, kurang lebih terdengar seperti ini gitu ya. It has always been my dream to study applied linguistics. Now you see, because we are in ELED, some of the what is it, the further study that we can go to is, for example, you want to go to education, Master of Education or applied linguistics or those things alike, yeah. And you say due to several reasons, for example. So you see you have a topic sentence, okay? You go straight to the topic sentence, and then you take the readers. The readers are going to be the potential reviewers, the people that's going to assess your application, okay? So keep in mind that when you write to them, okay? So when you have it in mind, you will write under the condition that I will help this person to see systematically, okay? So you will write structurally, in good structured. For example, due to several reasons, and then in the body paragraph, you say what's your reasons, because you have introduced in the introduction paragraph that I'm going to write about the reasons of why I want to study in applied linguistics, okay? So in the introduction, you say what you want, okay? I want to write this due to several reasons, and then in the body paragraph, you have reason A, and you elaborate that into 1 paragraph, and reason B, you elaborate that into 1 paragraph. And finally, in the conclusion, you recap and repeat. In another words, yeah, of course, you need to paraphrase. Jadi di paraphrase body awalnya ini, and strengthen your aims. Like, therefore, I really hope to get this scholarship. It will allow me to achieve my dreams, and my dreams is also aligned with your vision, for example. Jadi cita-cita saya itu juga bisa menjadi perpanjangan tangan atau sudah setara, bukan setara ya, bisa mendukung visi LPDP, visi Anda LPDP, atau visi Fulbright, atau visi pemberi sponsor, pemberi beasiswa itu tadi, kurang lebih seperti itu. So I'd like to go into about 3 to 4 slides, quick slides first before we go to the example. Usually, how to write this, how to write personal statement. Usually we will have, when we read the requirements, okay, you go to LPDP, for example, or you go to Fulbright page, Fulbright website, you will have instruction that your personal statement or your motivation letter should contain these aspects or that aspects or that aspects, okay? And we call that prompts here. Prompts here is like instruction. So what we need to do to write first, langkah pertamanya adalah we need to read the instruction. We need to read the prompts. Okay. So this is the prompts. This is one of the simple prompts I found in KGS, yang Korean Government Scholarship, gitu ya. And there are only 4 aspects here, okay, that you need to cover in your personal statements. For example, here we start with the motivation with which you apply for the program, motivasinya apa, kemudian your education and work experience, okay, education and work experience, saya belum pernah kerja misalnya, then you write about your education experience, or maybe you write about your organizational experience, okay, during your study, that is part of the education experience. Reason for studying, why do you want to study in Korea? Okay, and the last aspect is any other aspects that you think worth mentioning, okay, because it can help the reviewer to evaluate your aptitude and passion for studying in Korea. Now, this is from the instruction in the sponsor website, okay, but then you will need to make an outline. The outline here is the outline is like you elaborate in the contents. Jadi di setiap aspek itu kemudian, oh motivasi saya adalah ini gitu. Tulis aja dulu poin-poinnya. Kemudian my education background yang mau saya tulis ini. Reasonnya kira-kira, oh I want to meet Kim Jong-un misalnya. Yes, North Korea ya. Or any other aspek-aspek lain dituliskan. Now that is going to be your outline. Nah, kemudian you will start drafting. Once you have your outline, this outline is important, everyone, yeah, to make you structured, to make your essay structured. Now you start drafting. Drafting is like writing using your heart. Okay, you just write anything yang ada, and then you go into editing and revising. Editing and revising, which can take several times. You see, the quality of good writing depends on how resilient you want to edit and revise and edit and revise. Okay, so maybe you want to set it aside for 1 night or 2 days and then go again and edit and revise it again. And if you can, try to have it proofread. So ask someone to proofread and see whether you have addressed all 4 aspects here. And then finally, you do the final revision and have your personal statement ready. Okay, being time-wise, now some aspects that you need to highlight here yang harus ada di personal essay or personal statement like this is you need to highlight your strengths, okay, because you want to sell your skills, sell your qualities, yeah, and make your reviewer notice you, and you need to focus on here highlighting your strengths. And underline the relevance to your goals to the sponsor. Okay, so you see that visinya LPDP adalah ini dan ini. Now, your dream, cita-cita kalian itu harus dibuat gimana ya nyambungnya gitu ke visinya LPDP misalnya kayak gitu, atau visinya KGS tadi. And you need to mind the word or character counts, word counts. Biasanya itu kan ada ya, you need to make a personal essay of 500 words, then start that in your outline so that later you will enter just enough points to get the 500 or LPDP itu 2000 kata. That's like 4 pages A4 papers. Jadi berarti you can say more with the 2000 words, of course, ya, as opposed to the 500 words. Australia Awards itu biasanya 500 kata per poinnya. Keep it real. jangan melangit-langit maksudnya gitu ya. So that's why it is encouraged that you have experience because it is personal. So add personal experience. You may say that your dream, cita-cita kalian adalah untuk ini, but then you relate it to your personal experience because I have the experience of teaching my sister or young kids or my neighbors, for example, and it makes me want to pursue career in teaching, and this scholarship will help me. So something like that. Keep it simple and to the point. So stick to the prompt, stick to the instruction. Instructionnya tadi nyuruh apa, langsung to the point ke sana. So you don't start with a long winding road of background gitu ya. Dari kecil saya seperti ini misalnya. You don't start with that. Just go to the point. My motivation is like this and like that. Okay. And we use effective wordings, no flowery words, nggak perlu berbunga-bunga gitu kata-katanya ya. You can imagine that your reviewers is going to read lots and lots of essays, so you need to you need to get their attention right then and there gitu. The last one, some things to avoid yang harus hindari ini in your writing your personal essay is avoid restating your resume. You see CV, yeah, you will be asked to another documents that you will be asked is usually the CV, and in your essay do not repeat that my name is Nina Inati, I was born in Malang, tanggal seperti ini, I graduated from this and that, for example. You see those details are in CV. You don't need to repeat it in your essay. Okay, avoid cliche. You know, cliche is like cita-cita saya adalah berguna bagi nusa dan bangsa misalnya. Now that is cliche, okay, everyone wants to do that, but you need to be specific. Berguna bagi nusa dan bangsanya di aspek apa gitu, by being a teacher atau semacamnya. Now, okay, just be clear and specific, not too high gitu. Unnecessary drama ini maksudnya adalah, you see if you watch sinetron, it's like apa ya, you start, I think my previous example when you started, I was born from a poor family and blah blah blah. You see, doing that, okay, it's not really relevant. Okay, you don't need to write these flowery dramas in your essay because it's limited. So you need to go straight forward and just go. My motivation is like this. Being fake, yang kurang jelas gitu, juga dihindari gitu ya. If you say that it's going to be wonderful experience, then apa wonderfulnya itu apa gitu. Grandiosity itu nggak boleh yang itu tadi juga ya, terlalu blow up gitu. Jadi I want to cure COVID-19 gitu. Nah, that is it also too high gitu ya. So you start with something that you think you can reach within 6 months or 1 year. Controversial topics like politics or religion, we never know siapa background reviewer kita, jadi sebaiknya dihindari gitu ya. And most importantly, do not lie, nggak boleh bohong. Okay, it has to be about you and nggak perlu di mark up seperti itu. Now I think time's up, everyone. So sorry, I don't have time to discuss about the example, but I'm happy to share the example later, and you can go back to these do's and don'ts that we have covered. And yeah, I'm giving it back to Miss Laila. Thank you, Miss Laila.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nina, for the fruitful talk. I hope that the interesting points and suggestions from Ms. Nina about personal statement can bring us to Australia. I mean, okay. And just a reminder, ELEDers, please be sure to type your questions into the chat box, or just raise your hand if you later on want to ask the questions directly to our speakers. Okay, now let's continue our journey. We're moving on to the next station, which is New Zealand. The nature beauty of country, which is known of its kiwi fruit. Okay. New Zealand is a country which rich of natural beauty that can be seen from the box office movies such as Lord of the Rings and The Last Samurai. The New Zealand education system offers a very supportive environment for its natural students with a perfect balance of theoretical and practical learning. So I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of participants here that just can't wait to hear stories from our speakers. It's now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Dwi Wahyuning Tias, MPD, SPD MA. Okay, so Miss Diaz is graduated from English Language Education Department, University of Muhammadiyah Malang in 2013. In 2016, she did her master's degree in TESOL in Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. Ms. Diaz had been working as English instructor and lecturer at Language Center, University of Muhammadiyah Malang, English Language Education Department, and PKBI UIN Malang from 2018 to 2020. Now she is currently teaching at law faculty, UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Her research interests range from language and identity, English for specific purposes, to English as international language, or EIL. Please join me in welcoming Mbak Dwi Wahyuning Tias. So Mbak Tias, the floor is yours.
Okay.
How are you, Mbak Tias?
Okay, I'm good. I'm good, Ma'am Ella. How about you?
I'm great. Okay, so we can't wait to hear your stories.
Okay, sure. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, can you hear me? Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I am actually very honored to be invited in this session because I remember that all of the people in this session, in this discussion, are my lecturers from Ma'am Nina, Ma'am Ella, Ma'am Erlina, and also Ma'am Tatit and Ma'am Puji. So I'm quite honored, and thank you so much for inviting me to join this session, the discussion. So I would like to tell my story to adik-adik here, to adik-adik in English department of University of Muhammadiyah Malang, because I also graduated from this university, about my story when I took my master's degree at Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand, under the fund of LPDP, Indonesia Endowment Fund for Education. So I will share my screen because I have only 20 minutes. This one, can you see my presentation?
Yep.
Okay, sure. So this is my story in New Zealand, actually. Wait a second. Yeah, this is my story in New Zealand. And the question is why I took my master's degree in New Zealand. Actually, the one who encouraged me to take my master's degree in New Zealand is Mr. T, or Pak T, because Pak T is also my lecturer and also my senior at Victoria University of Wellington, and also my lecturer at UMM. So he was the one who encouraged me to take my master's degree in NZ. And actually, there are so many reasons why I am interested in New Zealand, why I love New Zealand so much. And before that, let me tell you some facts about New Zealand. Actually, as we know before, its original tribe is Maori. So NZ also has, its name is in Maori, which is Aotearoa, which means land of long white clouds. And also it is located in the southeast of the Australian continent. It's around 3 hours flight from Melbourne, if I'm not mistaken. It consists of 2 large islands, South and North Islands, and several other smaller islands. And the other facts is its original tribe is the Maori tribe. Pakeha is a term used to refer to NZ people of European descent, aka white. So we used to call white people of New Zealand as Pakeha. And the next fact is because Maori is the official language of New Zealand, the official names in a number of official government institutions, schools, and universities also use names in Maori language in addition to names in English. The unique thing in New Zealand, it has 2 official languages. The first is English, and the second one is Maori, but the official one is Maori language. It's a unique thing actually, because English is not its official language. It's not its official language, but yes, people in New Zealand speak English, but its official language is Maori. And the next fact is the number of sheep is more than that of the population. So the population maybe around 4 million something, but the sheep is around 5 or 6 million something. And it has subtropical climate and has 4 seasons: summer, autumn, winter, and spring. it's really different compared to the season in our country, yeah, in Indonesia, which has only 2 seasons. And also all of its state university are ranked in the top 200 universities in the world. So there are 8 state universities, and all of them are ranked in the top 200 universities in the world. And these are the top universities in NZ, based on QS university ranking. So I am very lucky because I have my master's degree in number 4, Victoria University of Wellington, which is located in North Island. So I think it has a very good TESOL department, or TESOL school, or Humanities and Social Sciences school. So that's why I chose this university. So there are 2 universities that offer TESOL. The first one is University of Auckland. If you have read Rod Ellis's book, and you have been familiar to Rod Ellis, so maybe you can take your master's degree in Auckland at University of Auckland, because Rod Ellis is teaching there. So I decided to choose Victoria University of Wellington because it also focuses on sociolinguistics and learner identity, because I'm interested in sociolinguistics and learner identity. So I decided to take my master's degree at Victoria University of Wellington. And next, so there are some differences about study systems in NZ and in Indonesia. In Indonesia, maybe we can just come to the class, we can listen to our lecturers' explanation, and that's all maybe. But this is different if we commence our study in New Zealand universities. Okay, the first difference is the tertiary level of university education level offers 4 programs. They are bachelor degree like S1 in Indonesia, postgraduate diploma, master's, and PhD. The unique thing is postgraduate diploma, because we barely heard of postgraduate diploma, yeah. So postgraduate diploma, if I'm not mistaken, is a diploma or degree that bridge between a bachelor degree and master's degree. So yeah, it's between a bachelor degree and also master's. And also the last one is PhD. It's like S3 in Indonesia. Next, before starting the lesson, students are required to read and understand the topic to be discussed. So for example, I have 3 courses in 1 week. So before the course starts, I have to read 4 journals, for example. So you can count, maybe I have to read 12 journals for a week. So that once the discussion starts, I have opinions, I have my own notions to be shared with my classmates and also my professor. So yeah, you cannot just like sit still and just silent. It's not like that. You have to give your own opinion, your own views regarding the topic. And the third is the relationship between the students and lecturers is more like the relationship between friends while still upholding the norms. It's not like you are the student and I am the teacher, so you should respect me. It's something like that, yeah. But still, the relationship is more just like a friends. So I will help you, I will serve you. Okay, come to my office and tell me your problems. So they are very busy. Our lecturers in SE are very busy, but still they have time for us, like that. And then the fourth characteristic is each student and lecturer is connected to an account called Blackboard. Blackboard contains all lecture materials and online discussions. So if we have our own Google Classroom or maybe any other accounts, maybe any other learning accounts in Victoria University of Wellington, we have our own Blackboard. So in Blackboards, our data were recorded. For example, like our loans in the library and also maybe our tuition fee and also assignments, our courses, our grades, all of them are recorded in the Blackboard. So it's one integrated system. Okay, so the next thing is study space in a spacious, clean, and comfortable library are always available on campus in NC. I used to spend my time around maybe 18 hours in the library. So I just come back to my flat at around, I do not know, 1 a.m. maybe, and at 9 a.m. I came back to the library. So I spent almost, it's more than 12 hours in the library because I love library so much. It's clean, spacious, and also peaceful and a comfortable place to study. Very, very comfortable. And the last one is the campus library operates until midnight. So actually on Sunday, from Sunday to Friday, it will be closed at around 12 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. Yeah, until midnight. So that's why I love library so much. The next, but beware, there are some things that you can not avoid. This must happen to us once we start our study in other countries. But just beware, be careful and beware, because one, you may experience culture shock. Everything in NZ will make you surprised, especially its automatic system, and also its learning style. And number two is homesick, because there are just, I do not know, Indonesian people in New Zealand are not that, just maybe around hundreds people of, Indonesian people there. And number three, a very different lecture system, because just like I said before, you have to be able to comprehend, you have to be able to understand the topics first before coming to the class, so that you can give your opinion regarding the topic that is being discussed that day. And number four, a very expensive rental flat or housing. So there are some options if you want to do your master's degree in NZ. The first one, you can rent a uni hall or university hall. It's like a dormitory, which is facilitated by the campus, which is provided by the campus. Which is provided by the campus. So it's quite expensive actually, but it can guarantee your safety, because it's also quite close to the campus. And the next one is a flat, or we call it ngontrak if in bahasa Indonesia, flatting. You can share your flat with your Indonesian friends or with your other countries' friends, and then it's quite cheaper, compared to university hall. But still, again, it's very expensive compared to your living allowance. For example, your living allowance is around 2,000 New Zealand dollars. So flatting and housing can cost you around 1,100 or 1,200. So you only have 8 New Zealand dollars left. And then the next one is the weather is sometimes difficult to predict. As I said before, New Zealand has 4 seasons, but again, it's very difficult to predict. So we have to stay tuned on the AccuWeather, or I forget, but we have to check the website every day, because the weather changes rapidly. For example, in the morning, it's still maybe like raining. Maybe at noon, I don't know. At noon it's already sunny, something like that. Maybe So there can be 4 seasons or 4 weathers in one day. So the weather changes rapidly. You have to check the websites every day. Next, it's like tips for finding and choosing the right major. Actually, it's just tips for me. It might be different from the tips for from Miss Nina, because it's my own experience. Because again, people question me why I did my master's degree in New Zealand, because New Zealand is not too famous, right? It's not as famous as Australian university. But then I consider the ranking of the department, then the ranking of the university. For example, the law major at Victoria University of Wellington is in the top 10 of the world's best, even though the university ranks in the 200s in the world. So for example, law major is quite famous in New Zealand, and law major at UW is the best law major in New Zealand. Although the university ranks in the 200 something in the world, if I'm mistaken, 230 or 220. And then look for universities where there are suitable supervisors willing to supervise you. It applies for you who take your PhD degree, because I still did my master's degree, so I don't have to find a supervisor in this university. So just come to the university, just took an IELTS test, and then applied for the university. That's all. And then number 3, look for universities that offer courses that match your passions. Because I did my bachelor degree in Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris at UMM. So the courses or the majors that suit me best are applied linguistics and TESOL. So between applied linguistics and TESOL, so I prefer TESOL. So because in TESOL, there are some courses that enable me to learn more about pedagogy and also curriculum. Next,
Sorry to interrupt, but yes, you have only 5 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Miss. Next, try to choose a university that is located in a safe and comfortable environment to study. Also consider the cost of living in the country. Just I said before, why I choose New Zealand, because it is safe and comfortable. And also, maybe the cost of, although it's still expensive, but yeah, it's reasonable compared to my living costs I got from LPDP. Next. It's already the last explanation. I think it's just my photo that I took randomly. Okay, this one. I want to give you a quote too, because I like watching Korean drama, Chinese drama. So this is from my favorite actor. But I really agree. If you want to pursue a degree or I don't know, a degree or a study abroad, you have to keep in your mind that the appearance of the world depends on your case, and your own value depends on your pursuit and mentality. All good wishes are not possessed in waiting, but in struggle. Again, struggle. That's number 1. And please don't forget about your mental health. Actually, because I didn't know. Taking my master's degree in New Zealand makes me feel like I do not know. I was depressed at that time, and it's quite. And the learning system is quite stressful, just I said before, because I'm not accustomed to the learning system in New Zealand. But then as time went by, everything is so good and everything is so fine, and I love New Zealand so much. And maybe in the near future, I want to do my PhD in New Zealand. That's all. I think you can check these websites too if you want to find out more about New Zealand and study abroad. That's all. I think this session is not enough for me, so you can text me, you can japri me or PM me, personal message, yeah. If you want to know more, maybe I can help you a little bit, yeah. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you so much for Miss Ella as the moderator. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well said, but yes, thank you for the amazing inspiration as well as aspiration. So yeah, again, just a reminder, ELEDers, just feel free to ask questions in our chat box. If you don't, if you worry about your English, feel free to write down in Bahasa. It's okay. Now, before going to the next station, let's spend some time to watch successful journey of one of the ELEDers named Yuyut. I think the Yuyut is present in our forum. So, okay, so let's enjoy the successful journey.
Ada pepatah mengatakan, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Inilah yang mendorong ambisi saya untuk terus mewujudkan setiap langkah nyata dalam berproses. Perkenalkan, aku Yuyut Guntoro, mahasiswa pendidikan bahasa Inggris, Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang. Dari kota ini, mimpiku berasal. Passion dalam menulis muncul saat masa studiku di pendidikan bahasa Inggris. Hingga sampai saat ini, beberapa karya tulis ilmiah telah aku hasilkan, di samping kesibukan sebagai mahasiswa. Capaian ini juga berkat para dosen yang menciptakan pembelajaran kolaboratif. Belajar di lingkungan yang penuh motivasi membuat aku semangat. Sehingga pada tahun 2019 lalu, aku terpilih untuk belajar maksimalisasi sosial media dalam kewirausahaan di kota Lahore, Pakistan. Halo Fit, aku lulus Erasmus. Tak hanya berhenti di situ, ambisiku terus berlanjut. Aku akan belajar selama 1 semester di University of Murcia, Spanyol pada program Erasmus+. My dream has come true. Tentunya berkat dukungan para dosen dan jurusan yang hebat. Inilah cerita dan ambisiku.
Okay, that was it. So I hope that the video can inspire you to ignite your dreams. So we go to the other famous station that we can explore, which is China. Unfortunately, there is a slight change to our destination because we have travel restrictions lately. So let's recall a hadith which say, seek knowledge even if you have to go to China. Traditional Chinese culture attaches great importance to education as a means of enhancing person's worth and career. So we have one speaker who will share about his experience regarding this. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce one of our bright students, Hamdan. Hamdan Sokirin, that's his name. Originated from Dompu, Hamdan is the first winner of the most outstanding student in English language education 2021. He is actually a best friend of Yuyut, who has just given the video. So it's great to have you both here. He joined several organizations, actively involved in some academic and non-academic activities to contribute to wider communities. He was one of the virtual exchange students for Singapore Polytechnic in November to February 2021. He was also International Credit Transfer Awardee to Guangxi Normal University, China this year. He was also awarded Beasiswa Unggulan Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan in 2019 and currently is an active member of Model United Nations, Kejar Mimpi Chapter Malang, SAPA, and other empowering organizations. Now, allow me to welcome our next speaker, Hamdan, to deliver his presentation. Hamdan, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready, ma'am.
All right, great to have you.
That's my screen, so to all of you here.
Yeah, we can see the slide.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So the Honorable Head of our department, English department, Pak Bayu, and also the Honorable Bapak Ibu Dosen English department, and the Honorable to all of the participants that coming in this section. Well, today's topic. Today's sharing is about ELED Hangout time. Dan saya menamakannya Achieve Your Dreams with us in ELED UMM. Okay. Okay, everyone. I hope that today you all stay safe and also stay healthy at your home. Well, it's such an honor to be here. And also, first of all, I would like to say thank you to Bapak Ibu Dosen di pendidikan bahasa Inggris dan sekarang ada di sini. That gives me a chance and also opportunities to share what I have experienced to join myself in any international program. Berkat bimbingan dan juga arahan Bapak Ibu dosen, me and a lot of e-leaders dapat explore lebih banyak akan kesempatan-kesempatan luar biasa, both national and also international. Well, everyone, it's me, Hamdan Sakirin, and also currently in the 3rd year undergraduate student in English department. It means that I am from class of 2018, and in this year is my 7th semester. Seperti yang disampaikan Mem Ella sebelumnya, saya adalah awardee of International Credit Transfer Program di KXNU, Cina. Kemudian yang kedua saya awardee beasiswa unggulan Indonesian Ministry of Education and Culture. So if you want to know more about me, you can search out my profile on my LinkedIn, teman-teman. Tinggal lihat di profilnya ada Hamdan Sakirin. Well, di session kali ini, teman-teman, saya akan mencoba menyampaikan beberapa experience atau pengalaman saya ketika applying this program, kemudian bagaimana cara mendapatkannya, dan perjuangannya untuk mendapat beasiswa ini seperti itu. Well, teman-teman, di sini saya akan menjelaskan 2 program yang saya join atau exchange program yang telah saya lakukan atau kedepannya yang akan saya ikuti seperti itu. Actually, there are a lot of exchange program that you can join in Indonesia, apalagi sekarang ada banyak program yang ditawarkan di Indonesia, khususnya di Universitas Muhammadiyah Malang dan juga di Prodi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris. There are a lot of exchange program that you can join and explore di beberapa opportunities lainnya, seperti itu. Nah, kebetulan di sini saya berkesempatan untuk share akan program yang akan saya jalankan, yaitu yang pertama International Credit Transfer Program to Guangxi Normal University, Guilin, China, dan juga a virtual exchange with Singapore Polytechnic. Nah, yang pertama mungkin di sini saya sedikit menjelaskan akan virtual program yang telah saya join pada 2020 lalu sampai 2021 with Singapore Polytechnic. Jadi pada kesempatan itu saya dengan 10 delegasi lainnya dari UMM berkesempatan untuk belajar banyak akan Singapore culture and a lot of things di Singapore Polytechnic with a lot of Singapore friends atau Singapore students. So, yang dinamakan sebagai Singapore from Your Home Conversation with SP Students, a virtual culture exchange program where you can will sit in the SP classroom to learn and share exchange insight to your country and learn more about Singapore from various points. Dan di sini juga teman-teman yang mungkin teman-teman maba ataupun teman-teman yang sekarang masih ongoing di ELED, di program ini juga ada key highlights-nya yang banyak kita pelajari. Yang pertama adalah make friends from Singapore and other parts of Indonesia, because after the program you can make conversations with them, banyak belajar sama mereka dan sebagainya about their culture, kemudian kesempatan-kesempatan untuk study di Singapura dan sebagainya. Mereka bakalan nge-share ke kita and explain bagaimana campus life there and a lot of things. Kemudian yang kedua, form network for future collaboration. Yang ketiga, ya highlights-nya adalah the Singapore story, Singapore's local sense, the Singapore language and its origin, kemudian program certificate and budget. Dan juga di sini pengalaman saya during the program, I've learned a lot karena di sana kita bisa share our culture, kemudian mereka juga bisa share their culture, dan di kelas seperti biasa ada banyak dosen yang begitu talented in their field waktu itu, dan pada saat exchange saya difasilitasi untuk seperti orientation, kemudian pengenalan akan kampusnya dan sebagainya. Dan juga di dalam kelas seperti biasa, saya melakukan komunikasi atau membangun komunikasi dengan SP students, kemudian SP lecturer, dan juga di sana masih banyak lagi yang kita dapatkan seperti itu. Karena di kelasnya kita doing presentation, kemudian discussions with them, dan sebagainya seperti itu. Kemudian teman-teman di sini mungkin saya juga akan nge-share program yang telah diberikan kepada saya, yaitu International Credit Transfer Program from the Indonesian Ministry of Education and Culture 2021. Actually, di English pertama saya sendiri dan juga rekan saya yang diterima di Tongguan University, China juga. Nah, jadi teman-teman untuk International Credit Transfer ini saya mencoba menjelaskan bagaimana programnya, kemudian benefitnya seperti apa, and then also my experience or my story to apply this program and how to prepare and applying for this program. Well, actually, the first one is about the it's about the programs. As you can see that this program or the International Credit Transfer Program provide opportunities for Indonesian students to interact with students and communities abroad. Thus, students will get added value in the form of increasing hard skills and also soft skills, expanding and strengthening network, cooperation, socioculture and understanding, and internationalization of the higher education system in Indonesia. And also institutionally, the paradigm shift in educational quality, network, and innovation will be the result of learning experiences in the connect of self-development that can make a positive contribution to national development and the nation's competitiveness at the international level in the 21st century. Dan di program ini, I've known that baru-baru saja dari Bapak Ibu dosen kita yang sungguh luar biasa pengalamannya yang share kepada kita semua bagaimana beliau-beliau mendapatkan programnya dan sebagainya dan di-share kepada kita pada saat kelas berlangsung dan sebagainya dan menuntut kita untuk mampu bersaing di secara global gitu teman-teman. Nah waktu itu saya persiapan program ini cukup singkat. Kemudian waktu itu saya mendapatkan mencari beberapa persyaratan programnya seperti apa, kemudian the selection step seperti apa dan sebagainya seperti itu. Nah, adapun untuk persyaratan program ini adalah mahasiswa calon peserta program transfer credit internasional diseleksi oleh perguruan tinggi dan atau program studi pengusul dengan beberapa ketentuan seperti itu. Dan at the time saya dapat informasi dari Bapak Puji atau Mr. Puji yang nge-share untuk programnya di grup. Kemudian waktu itu diseleksi oleh pihak prodi untuk diajukan ke universitas waktu itu, kemudian universitas diseleksi lagi menjadi 10 mahasiswa yang akan diajukan ke Dikti untuk international program ini. Dan alhamdulillah saya beserta 9 rekan lainnya yang diterima di Asian countries and also European countries akan melanjutkan studi atau exchange program di beberapa universitas masing-masing. Kemudian adapun persyaratannya tentunya adalah students yang ada di undergraduate students atau S1, kemudian minimal semester 3 teman-teman, dan juga memiliki sertifikat TOEFL dengan skor minimum 450 atau IELTS minimum 5,0 atau sertifikat kemampuan bahasa Inggris yang ada di UMM atau kita bisa bilang type gitu. Kemarin waktu itu saya apply-nya dengan type. Kemudian selanjutnya adalah surat penerimaan dari perguruan tinggi mitra di luar negeri atau letter of acceptance. Dan waktu itu karena yang lebih membanggakan lagi dari ELED UMM sudah banyak international collaboration with any universities yang ada di Asian countries. Salah satunya adalah host university saya, Guangxi Normal University. Kemudian pernah bekerja sama juga dengan Pengurangan University, sehingga memudahkan kita untuk applying this program dan mendapatkan surat dinyatakan diterima di universitas tersebut. Seperti itu. Dan yang terakhir adalah learning agreement atau kesepakatan mata kuliah yang akan diambil di sana sehingga bisa dikonversi di UMM ke depannya. Dan yang terakhir yang paling penting adalah curriculum vitae teman-teman untuk applying this program. Kemudian di sini juga akan share sebenarnya benefit yang akan didapatkan ketika menjadi awardee dari International Credit Transfer Program ini. Nah, teman-teman, the source of funding for the International Credit Transfer Program is from the Ministry of Education and Culture and can also come from standing universities atau di UMM, kemudian host university atau receiving university yang akan kita lakukan exchange nanti. And others non-banding funding source assistance will be given to the students who pass the selections at the university that proposed. Kemudian kemarin karena kita lolosnya 10, alhamdulillah mendapatkan pendanaan yang luar biasa seperti education support cost assistance for students can be in the form of registration fees, printing cost for academic certificates or transcript, kemudian program fees, library fees, and others. Kemudian ada students living expenses assistance, dan ada juga assistance in the purchasing books and or access to journals in the host university, dan juga adalah assistance in the cost of supporting program management in higher education. Kita juga bisa ngelakuin transfer credit atau konversi mata kuliah ke depannya. Kemudian yang paling penting adalah when you declared as awardee of international credit transfer, maka akan banyak sekali future career, also future opportunities yang bakalan teman-teman dapatkan ke depannya. Nah, lalu bagaimana sih sebenarnya experience saya untuk applying this program? Jadi teman-teman mungkin ini adalah hal terkecil. Waktu itu saya persiapan programnya cukup singkat seperti itu. But I believe preparing the application is not the same with preparing the story. Jadi teman-teman yang paling penting pada saat persyaratan itu adalah penguatan CV kita. Bagaimana kita bisa memberikan pengalaman yang luar biasa dari diri kita untuk berhak mendapatkan beasiswa tersebut or the other scholarship gitu. Dan saya sebenarnya preparing untuk scholarship about the story cukup membutuhkan waktu lama karena have to join in any international opportunities. Tapi jangan khawatir karena dari ELED teman-teman juga bisa mendapatkan informasi yang lebih banyak atau lebih luas lagi dari Bapak Ibu dosen yang lebih berkompeten di sini. Bagaimana akan international program yang bisa teman-teman join seperti itu.
Sorry, Hamdan, you have less than 5 minutes to complete the presentation.
Okay. Right, ma'am. Okay, all right, thank you. Well, mungkin yang terakhir, last but not least, ini mungkin sebagai bahan evaluasi saya sendiri yang awalnya ketika ingin terlibat dalam international opportunities, saya takut dengan diri saya sendiri dan sebagainya. But indeed, dan sekarang teman-teman yang mungkin teman-teman bisa lakukan adalah jangan pernah menanamkan pemikiran bahwa teman-teman itu okay, I can't atau saya tidak bisa. But in the future teman-teman tidak tahu ke depannya seperti apa dan sebagainya. Beranilah untuk menanamkan pada diri teman-teman bahwa teman-teman itu bisa seperti yang lainnya, seperti itu. Untuk joining in any international programs, seperti exchange program dan sebagainya, seperti itu. Oke, ini adalah beberapa pengalaman atau hasil dokumentasi ya waktu saya join di virtual exchange program bersama Singapore Polytechnic. Ada dosen dan juga rekan saya waktu itu, I miss them so much. Ada Mr. Rui dan rekan-rekan lainnya waktu di kelas. Ini selama perkuliahan dan juga diskusi akan Singapore culture, Malaysian culture dan juga Indian culture. Oke, seperti itu teman-teman. So maybe that's all. Thank you very much for having me today's session. So kembali lagi mungkin ke Ma'am Ella. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Hamdan, for the fruitful talk. I'm sure that it will inspire us to do something more, although we have the pandemic situation. Okay, so ELEDers, now we come to the Q&A session. So I've checked the chat box and I'm happy to invite you. Do you mind to directly ask the question to the participants?
Baik, terima kasih Miss Ella atas kesempatannya. Mungkin pertanyaan saya nggak tahu ya ini bahasa apa. Karena saya lihat memang dosen-dosen sini kan mayoritas pernah menempuh studinya di Australia ya begitu. Dan saya tertarik untuk melanjutkan master di program yang master by research gitu. Mungkin pertanyaannya kira-kira gambaran kuliah untuk master by research itu seperti apa dan untuk mencari potential supervisor itu bagaimana caranya?
Okay, thank you, Yuyut, for the great questions that you asked. So to answer this question, perhaps I will invite Miss Nina and later Miss Diaz.
Okay, thank you, Miss Ella and Yuyut. Wow, that's a great plan, Yuyut. I think you have a good chance to do that ya. Gambarannya ya tadi ya, gambaran kuliah master by research dan cara cari supervisornya. Gambarannya, I think if you can imagine you're doing research there, if you do it like in 4 semester, 1 tahun seperti itu, then you can imagine that in the first semester, if you do like this is pure research. When I did my master in Australia, it was a combined research and coursework. And so what I did was I started the research in the second year. So first year I did all the coursework, and then second year I did the research. But if it is full research, it's going to be like in the first semester you're going to perfect your proposal. Of course, you started the application with a proposal, right? But you're going to improve your proposal while taking some research classes. So it is also research classes that are relevant to your research, okay? So you have the idea, because if you're aiming for a master research, then you have the idea of what research you're going to do. You have started your own proposal, but in the first semester, you're going to perfect your proposal, okay, by also taking some research classes. And then second semester, you're going to go for the literature review, for example. Next semester, you're going to collect the data, doing the ethics. So you see that in Australia or in many Commonwealth countries like New Zealand or England, we have this very strict ethics, application and also assessment. And if our research involves human, and students and teachers are human, and so we will, have this procedure, and ethics can be quite lengthy process too, before you actually, before you go and eventually conduct and collect your data and do the analysis and do the reporting and publishing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's how kira-kira ini ya, generally how you can do the master by research. And how you can approach potential supervisor. We usually go to the university website So if you have in mind already which city in Australia that you want to go to, then in every city, not every city, every state ya, di setiap provinsinya, only 5 states in Australia, cuma 5 provinsi, so you just go with city that you want to go and then choose one university there and go to the website and see the list of supervisors, because they have list of supervisors on their website already. And oh, you need to prepare your proposal ya. But the proposal has to be really concise, nggak panjang-panjang, like an abstract of the proposal, or maybe an extended abstract gitu ya, like maybe only 2 pages, okay, consisting your introduction, literature review, and also the methods that you think is suitable for your research question. And then later you will email them one by one, and in this stage you can send to several people really and see who respond to you and be open to be your supervisor later on. Yeah, I think that's all. Maybe Miss Dwi Wahyu, you have some addition?
Sorry. Yeah, it's similar to Ma'am Nina's answer actually, because I did my master's degree in coursework, so it's quite different from research. So maybe I have no specific suggestion to you, but the thing is, if research in New Zealand, just like Ma'am Nina said before, is quite similar to a research program in Australian universities. But the thing is, from my friends' experiences who did their master's degree in research, they met their supervisors once they started their study in the university. So from Indonesia, they have they had some plans actually about their topics of their thesis, but then they have contacted some supervisors, but they intimately communicate with the supervisor once they arrived in the university. But yeah, they have already contacted the research supervisors. They also have prepared some plans for the topic. They arrange the schedules, the topics, and their study plans with the supervisors once they started their study in the university. Because I did my master's degree in coursework, just like Mr. Tis explained before, maybe in previous sessions, that there are differences between masters by coursework and also master by research. So I did my master's by coursework, yeah, just said yes to Ma'am Nina's explanation. Thank you, that's all I think.
All right, thank you, Ms. Diaz and Ms. Nina for the answer, and thank you Yud as well for the question. So now for the second question, I'd like to invite Ibu Puji. Ibu. Oh, okay. So perhaps we have one question for Hamdan, specifically addressing what do you think is the role of English language education department to your journey involving in the international communities and classes?
Thank you, ma'am, untuk pertanyaannya. Jadi teman-teman, talk about the role atau peran dari prodi kita untuk memfasilitasi teman-teman mahasiswa atau kita yang joining in any both national or international opportunities. Ada dari pendidikan bahasa Inggris atau dari program studi benar-benar mendukung kita mahasiswa untuk compete globally, yang benar-benar dapat bersaing secara personal di sana, sehingga dari program studi kita juga banyak hal yang diapresiasi seperti itu, baik dari persiapan akan mendapat beasiswanya dan sebagainya gitu, dan akan membantu kita banget gimana sih kita interaksi secara internasional dan sebagainya kayak gitu. Dan during the class I've learned a lot of things bagaimana kita bisa bersaing secara global, kemudian implement our skills di sana dan sebagainya seperti itu, Ma'am. Yeah, I've learned a lot of things.
All right, thank you very much, Hamdan, for the answer. So, well, travelers, that's wrap up our journey today. So let's give once again a big round of applause for our prominent speakers. So please check out our media accounts, ELED UMM, for any updates in our program. And so we know directly that the winner for the travel for this door prize is Yuyut. Congratulations, Yuyut. So the company will, the committee will contact you soon after this. And ELEDiers, once you leave out today's webinar, you need to process an exit ticket, which has been given the link in the chat box. So by completing the information, you can obtain your certificate directly to your email. So on behalf of the committee of this Hangout program, I'd like to say thank you again for joining us. I hope that this event can ignite you for further growth in your life. So I have one pantun, actually it's not real pantun. So pandemi memang sedang melanda negeri. Indonesia saat ini butuh kita meski hanya sekedar berempati. Pertemuan singkat ini semoga bisa menginspirasi bahwa kondisi bukan alasan untuk menyerah lalu berdiam diri. So see you on the next adventure, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Stay safe. Stay safe, everyone.
Ya, saya biar mereka live dulu. Kan mungkin ada yang masih ngeklik tiket exit tiketnya. Cuman sedikit yang datang, padahal sing daftar hampir 90 loh.
Iya, 36 maksud tadi ya terbanyak.
Mem Merlina, Mem Nina, Mem